Good morning, Cullman. Thank you for joining us on Cullman Today. I'm your host, Christine Wiggins, and today is Thursday, March 27th. Coming up on Cullman Today, a Good Hope City Council resolution, Paradise Lost trials, and an April proclamation. All of this plus sports, weather, and more. Now let's take a closer look at the top stories happening in Cullman today. Good Hope City Council held its regularly scheduled meeting at Good Hope City Hall Monday night and approved a new resolution as part of a recent Alabama Department of Economic and Community Affairs audit. ADECA performs its own audit whenever it provides funds for a project and upon its completion. The Council approved Resolution Number 007-2025 to revise its procurement procedures and officially adopt a written code of ethics and standards. A long-running project to use literature as a gateway to teaching students at Cullman High School more about the legal system recently received a bit of help from Cullman County's own district attorney. For the past several years, CHS English Department Chair Denise Burrows has held a trial as part of her class based on Paradise Lost, the 1667 epic poem by John Milton. Students are assigned to read and study the poem and prepare to argue different points and sides about morality in the historical text. Local judges, including Rusty Turner, Greg Nicholas, and Chad Floyd, have donated their time in past years to assist with the trials. For this year's trial, Cullman County District Attorney Champ Crocker volunteered to come and provide trial preparation tips for students ahead of the event. Burrows said that since Crocker's visit, she has noticed the students are more focused on separating what is most important in the text to prove their own client less guilty. The project is a clever way to introduce students to concepts and procedures within the justice system, while also pushing them to think critically as they craft their arguments and strategies. One newer aspect even has students using social media to promote their case, which helps them get the entire student body invested in the trials. This year's trials are set for Friday, April 4th. Cullman Mayor Woody Jacobs on Wednesday, March 26th, proclaimed the month of April National Child Abuse Prevention Month in the city of Cullman. The proclamation was presented to Javon Daniel and Candace Lingo of Cullman Caring for Kids, a local organization with a mission to see that no child will ever be abused, no child will go to bed hungry, no infants will ever be shaken in anger, and the cycle of abuse will be stopped. National Child Abuse Prevention Month is an annual observance aimed at educating others about the prevalence and signs of child abuse and neglect and raising awareness about the importance of preventing child maltreatment. In Alabama, the Department of Public Health lists child abuse and neglect as the number 9 health concern. Rates have been increasing in recent years. Each year, Cullman Caring for Kids, Brooks Place, Cullman County CASA, DHR, and other local agencies work to educate others about child maltreatment and raise awareness about the impact child abuse has on children and society. Providing information about best practices that are known to build parental capacity through protective factors is key to helping families become more resilient. If you suspect a child is being harmed, reporting your suspicions may protect the child and get help for the family. If you suspect a child is being maltreated, contact your local DHR or law enforcement agency. And those are the top stories in Cullman today. Coming up, West Point falls to Decatur on the road. Sports is next. Welcome back. In today's sports segment, let's take a look at some of this week's local baseball action. It's spring break across the state this week, but that hasn't stopped several of our local teams from getting back on the field and playing against some strong competition as the final stretch of the regular season approaches. One of those teams, West Point, hit the road on Tuesday for a matchup against Decatur. After falling behind early, the Warriors made a push in the fifth inning to cut into the lead, but it wasn't enough to overcome the Red Raiders, and West Point returned home with a 12-7 loss. Decatur jumped out to a 4-0 lead in the bottom of the first inning, and the Red Raiders tacked on 3 more runs in the second to make it a 7-0 game. Decatur continued to dominate the early innings, plating 5 more runs in the third inning to make a commanding 12-0 lead. The Warriors began to battle back in the top of the fourth. Back-to-back doubles from Charlie Ashley and Cade Welburn cut the lead to 12-1, and later in the inning, another double off the bat of Cooper Howard drove in another run to make it 12-2. West Point continued to chip away in the fifth. Welburn drove in Boston Freeman with a sacrifice fly to trim the lead to 12-3, and just 3 pitches later, an RBI double from Jay Lamar brought the lead down to 12-4. Ashley scored on an error a few pitches later to make it a 12-5 game, and Lamar scored on a passed ball later in the inning to make it 12-6. After a scoreless 6th inning, an RBI single from Hunter Graves cut the lead to 5, but the Warriors were unable to chip away any more than that, and Decatur held on to win it 12-7. Howard posted a pair of hits and RBIs in the loss. Welburn drove in a pair of runs as well. West Point will be back home today for a doubleheader with McAdory and Douglas. And that wraps up sports for today. After the break, we'll bring you 4 stories in under 4 minutes, including Ballin' Like a Bulldog and our Pet of the Week. Welcome back. Now it's time to speed things up with a news rundown, 4 stories in under 4 minutes. The 3rd annual Ballin' Like a Bulldog Youth Skills Camp is set to take place July 21st and 22nd from 7:30 to noon at the Hanceville High School gym. Camp organizer Brittany Coker, a lifelong basketball enthusiast, says her goal for hosting the camp is to pour into the kids of the community and give them a positive environment to hone their skills in the craft that she fell in love with as a little girl. Last year's camp hosted 95 campers from all over the county and had over 60 local businesses and community members contribute to camp in some way. All participants fully registered by July 12th will receive a brand new basketball to take home at the end of the camp. Registration is currently open to boys and girls entering 1st through 7th grades in August 2025. The camp welcomes participants from across the county regardless of school affiliation. The cost is $50 per camper, with discounts available for multiple siblings. Those interested in registering can email ballandballcamp@gmail.com for more information. Payment is due at the time of registration to secure a spot. As part of the Fairview High School 100-year celebration, a 5K race and 1-mile fun run will take place Saturday, April 2nd. Event coordinator and Fairview teacher Leslie Arnold said proceeds will benefit the school through the work of the Alumni Association. Arnold says after the race, there's more fun to be had at the 100-year celebration with activities for the entire family, including a car, truck, and motorcycle and tractor show. There will also be food and craft vendors. Race day check-in begins at 7 a.m. at Fairview High School's Joe Schultz Gymnasium. The The 5K will begin at 8 and the fun run at 9:15. Awards will follow at 10. Early registration costs are $25 per 5K runner and $20 per fun run participant. Scan the QR code to register. Alabama Attorney General Steve Marshall is warning residents to stay vigilant against increasingly sophisticated phone scams targeting consumers across the state. Scammers are using deceptive tactics to trick victims into sending money, purchasing gift cards, or making cryptocurrency transactions under false pretenses. Alabama consumers have reported various scam calls, including computer and tech support scams, sweepstakes and lottery scams, cryptocurrency and gift card scams, toll scams, and jury duty scams. Marshall advises Alabamians to follow these safety tips. Hang up if a caller pressures you to act immediately or requests unusual payment methods. Never give personal information over the phone. Verify the caller by contacting the company or agency directly using an official phone number. Do not allow remote access to your computer unless you initiated contact with a trusted company. For more information on avoiding scams, visit www.alabamaag.gov or call the Consumer Protection Hotline at 1-800-392-5658. Meet 2.5 to 3-year-old Notable Ned, a hound mix who is the Cullman Tribune Pet of the Week. The lovable chap has low to medium energy. While unassuming and pensive, this fellow is ever so quiet in his kennel. Notable Ned also understands leash etiquette and has quickly picked up jumping over the hurdles at the shelter. When he journeys out into the yard, he likes it best sitting or lying down close to you, just watching the world go by. He is another precious soul who quietly took a piece of his caregivers' hearts. Notable Ned would be the perfect companion buddy. His adoption fee is $130, which includes neuter, DHLPP vaccine, Bordetella vaccine, rabies vaccine, wormer, general exam at the vet, and microchip. Visit the shelter at 935 Convent Road Northeast. It's open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. If you show up to visit Notable Ned and he's been adopted, don't fret, as many of his friends are also waiting for their forever homes. Contact the Cullman County Animal Shelter at 256-734-5448 or Cullman Animal Shelter at co.cullman.al.us. And that's your 4 stories in under 4 minutes. Now for a quick break before we look at the weather ahead and pay our respects with obituaries. I'll be right back after this quick message.
Almonds in full bloom in the newest edition of Community Matters from the Cullman Tribune. Discover fresh dining spots, celebrate community connections, and meet local heroes making a real difference. From stunning sights to courtside lights, there's something for everyone to enjoy. Pick up your free copy around town or read it online today. Community Matters. Get to know your community.
Let's take a moment to pause and remember those who have lost their lives this week as we turn to obituaries. Franklin Jerome Self, 89 of Vinemont, passed away on Wednesday, March 26th. Funeral service will be at 11 a.m. on Saturday, March 29th at Hopewell Cemetery, with burial at Hopewell Cemetery. Our thoughts and prayers go out to his friends and family. And now let's take a moment to look ahead at your weather forecast. We have a gorgeous day on tap for today. Sunny skies with a high near 78. Tonight becoming cloudy with a low around 57. Friday we'll see mostly cloudy skies with a breeze, a high near 79 and a low around 62. And that wraps up today's edition of Cullman Today. Thank you for sharing your morning with us. And remember to stay connected by following us on social media and visiting CullmanTribune.com for the latest from our community. We'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. I'm Christine Wiggins with Cullman Today. Have a great day, Cullman.